he looked at me, but I was lucky enough that he didn't point the gun at me.
Atlanta News First starts now with breaking news.
That breaking news now at 11. Father and son both in jail tonight. The suspected school shooter says the weapon he used was a Christmas gift from his dad. I'm Blair Miller.
And I'm Sean Gables. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation says 54-year-old Colin Gray knowingly allowed his son to have a weapon. This is his mugshot. Gray now faces 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter, 2 counts of second-degree murder, and 8 counts of cruelty to children. No word tonight on when Colin will appear in court.
His son, 14-year-old Colt Gray, is now less than 12 hours away from appearing virtually in court. His charges include felony murder. Tonight, he is in the Gainesville Regional Youth Detention Center. And tonight, CNN is reporting the 14-year-old confessed to law enforcement that he did it.
Atlanta News First, Madeline Montgomery begins our live coverage from Winder tonight. And Madeline, a search at that suspect's home tonight shows documents written by the teenager reference to past school shootings.
That's right, and we know now that his father has gone to jail, and he told investigators that he is the one that purchased the AR-15 that investigators believe killed 4 people right here at the high school.
A young person brought a gun into a school, committed an evil act, and he took lives.
And now his father, 54-year-old Colin Gray, is behind bars in Barrow County.
4 counts of involuntary manslaughter, 2 counts of second-degree murder, and 8 counts of cruelty to children.
The Georgia Bureau of Investigation's director says these charges stem from Gray allowing his 14-year-old son Colt to have a gun. That's after the FBI and the Jackson County Sheriff's Office came in May of last year. They questioned Gray and his son after anonymous tips came in about online threats to commit a school shooting.
Do you have weapons in the house?
I do.
Are they accessible to him?
They are. I mean, there's nothing loaded, but they are down.
Okay.
We do a lot of shooting. We do a lot of deer hunting. He shot his first deer this year.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, so like I'm pretty much in shock, to be honest with you.
Well,
I'm a little pissed off, to be even really honest with you, if that is what was said.
And then months later, investigators say Gray told them he bought an AR-15 style rifle as a Christmas gift for his son. Officials believe it's the same weapon used to kill 2 teachers, 2 students, and injure a handful of others at Apalachee High School on Wednesday.
His charges are directly connected with the actions of his son and allowing him to possess a weapon.
I asked the GBI director if any other arrests are going to be made in connection to the shooting that happened here, and he says it is too soon in the investigation to know for sure. Reporting live in Winder, I'm Madeline Montgomery, Atlanta News First.
Now, there is a legal precedence for charging Colin Gray. Earlier this year, some parents of a Michigan teen convicted of a mass shooting at his school were sentenced after being convicted of involuntary manslaughter. Jennifer and James Crumbly were sentenced to at least 10 years in prison. Their son Ethan killed 4 students in Michigan in 2021. The Crumbleys bought the gun that Ethan used to carry out that massacre. They were accused of failing to secure their weapon and doing nothing to address their son's mental health issues. And breaking here tonight, one of the students who survived the gunfire inside Apalachee High School is speaking only to Atlanta News First.
She showed up to the makeshift memorial on campus and spoke only to Atlanta News First Blake Devine.
And Blake, you continue our team coverage here tonight. This student knows how incredibly blessed he is.
Blair and Sean, he was one of only 9 survivors of this school shooting, and he showed up here tonight to pay respects to his 2 classmates and 2 teachers who didn't make it out alive. As the sun set at Apalachee High, a vigil grows for the 2 students and 2 teachers that lost their lives during Wednesday's school shooting. One brave boy has come back to campus. We got parental permission before talking to freshman Ronaldo Vega, who was shot several times in the arm and leg allegedly by the suspect, 14-year-old Colt Gray.
I got scared. I was looking at the shooter. He looked at me, but I was lucky enough that he didn't point the gun at me.
Vega couldn't believe his eyes as gunshots exploded into his classroom.
We shot the first one, and then that's where I immediately went down to cover myself.
Several students were shot as bullets and blood sprayed the floor. As the shooter walked into the hall, Vega stood up when it mattered most.
I went to go close the door because I didn't want nothing more to happen, because if it did happen, then I wouldn't be here right now.
Only entering the second month of his freshman year, the 14-year-old is still in shock, thankful to still be standing.
Pray for your kids that go to school, because you never know what will happen.
Back out here live at Apalachee High, these flags are flying at half-staff as Governor Brian Kemp has ordered all flags throughout the state of Georgia to remain that way until all 4 victims are laid to rest. Reporting live in Winder, Blake Devine, Atlanta News First.
Now, earlier tonight, officials said Vega and the other 8 who survived will be okay.
He's among the 7 victims we know have been released from the hospital. Atlanta News First anchor Carly Barnett just heard from one of the victims' loved ones.
And Carly, that victim remains in the ICU tonight, right?
Blair, Sean, he does have a long road of recovery ahead. David Phoenix, though, is alive. He's doing well, likely a little bit sore and will be for quite some time. Now, Phoenix's family giving us this photo, and he continues to recover right now. He is a teacher at the school. Phoenix had surgery this morning on his hip and his ankle. And according to his daughter, Phoenix is going to spend another day or 2 in the ICU. And his daughter added that things are looking good. So tonight, Barrow County Sheriff Judd Smith thanked the doctors for their swift response.
But the 9 injured, I am very happy to say will make a full recovery. And that's a testament to the response that we had. In my opinion, the response that medical staff responded with, in my opinion, and we're very happy to say that they will make a full recovery after that response.
Now, tonight we can also confirm that 8 of the surviving victims are children. One is that teacher, David Phoenix. Blair, Sean.
Carly, thanks so much. And tonight we are also hearing from a man who is a friend to one of the victims who died. Nick Bach spoke with CNN about losing football coach Richard Aspinwall.
Most beautiful soul you've ever met. Would go so far above and beyond for everybody around him. I mean, for the students in his math classes, for the teachers in his department, coaches. I mean, you never had to ask him to do anything. He just did it because he just wanted everybody around him to be great. And I think that was his calling. It was just in his DNA to help everybody around him. So he was just so good at that. He just made us all admire him and love him. So, that's why we're all so broken up right now.
Aspinwall was 39 years old. He is survived by his wife and 2 children.
And at this hour, state lawmakers you elected to make your community safe are taking steps to prevent future school shootings. State senators from both parties gathered under the Gold Dome today to talk about prevention. For the past 2 legislative sessions, a bipartisan bill that would require gun locks, gun safes, or some level of state-mandated safe storage failed to gain passage. Sarah Walker is with the gun violence prevention group Moms for Change. She got emotional today when asking lawmakers what is taking so long.
We have more children dying from gun violence than we do car wrecks. But think of all the safety measures we have in cars. My children have been in car seats. They have airbags and shields. But my kids could die going to school where they should feel safe.
Wow. The study committee is expected to meet again at the state capitol in 2 weeks. Now, the mass shooting at Apalachee High School is thrusting new technology into the spotlight.
It has a panic button on faculty ID badges called Centegix. When clicked, it alerts medical or law enforcement officials and in some cases starts a hard lockdown. Investigative reporter Sierra Cummings tells us how the technology is now being credited for saving more lives.
We know many school districts right here in Metro Atlanta use the crisis alert buttons. According to Centegix's safety report, educators and staff initiated more than 183,000 alerts nationwide last year.
I actually saw the lockdown initiate before I even heard gunshots. So I had time to prepare. Someone saw the threat even before he's starting to engage. So it's almost we knew before anything truly even happened, before lives were taken. So it's insane, the technology that we have access to.
As a suspected shooter walked around Apalachee High Wednesday morning, 2 school resource officers were quickly alerted to the threat. The 14-year-old student is accused of killing 4 and shooting 9 others. But it's a toll Apalachee teacher Stephen Cryamble says could have been even higher if not for this button.
Without a doubt in my mind, I think this program that Apalachee instilled upon us at 100% saved lives without a doubt in my mind. I recommend it to any school district.
It's been a tool previously recommended to public schools across Georgia. Atlanta News First Investigates found these 9 metro districts, from Gwinnett schools to Fayette County schools, have contracts with the Atlanta-based company behind the badge, Centegix.
The power of the badge is to wear it.
Last year, Fulton County became one of the latest to train its teachers on the wearable badge that doubles as a panic button.
3 times.
A 3-time push might be used for a medical emergency, but if the staff member continues pushing the button 8 times, it signals a school lockdown for worst-case scenario, like a mass shooting. GPS data from that button signals to school police and other law enforcement exactly where the physical threat is located, right down to the hallway. It's what happened at Apalachee High. School resource officers knew exactly where to go. Fulton County Superintendent Dr. Mike Looney crediting the tech for their improved district campuses.
We've adapted a long-term strategy to making sure that our buildings are as safe as they possibly can be.
It's worth noting, in the 2023 Georgia legislative session, lawmakers introduced Alyssa's Law, named after one of the victims in the Parkland, Florida shooting. The proposal would have required some type of panic button in all public Georgia schools. Despite that bill stalling, many school districts implemented these systems all on their own. In the studio, I'm Sierra Cummings. Atlanta News First investigates.
And Atlanta News First is staying on top of the investigation into the deadly shooting at Apalachee High School. Download our app to find complete coverage and resources for Barrow County students and community members.
Quiet and dry weather continues for us late this evening. Temperatures are settling back into the low to mid 60s far north Georgia. Most of us, though, are in the low to mid 70s out there late this evening. Big picture here, heavy rain showing up along the Gulf Coast, but a few showers are going to come our way tomorrow. I think a lot of that heavy rain will be staying away from our area. Tomorrow is a first alert weather day, though, because we'll have thick cloud cover and some showers coming in first south and west of Atlanta around midday, and then continuing during the afternoon and into the evening. It doesn't look like a lot of steady rain right around the metro, but you're probably going to see a few lighter showers anyway. And into tomorrow night, the system passes by with showers possibly continuing through late tomorrow evening. In fact, the best chance of rain may actually be late tomorrow evening and into the overnight hours. Another thing you're going to notice, cooler temperatures tomorrow. After 3 straight days with highs in the mid 80s, we're looking at high temperatures that'll be in the 70s tomorrow. Best chance of showers afternoon and evening, and mainly south and west of Atlanta, although there will likely be some that move up into the metro. A lower chance of seeing rain all the way far north and into the mountains. On the brighter side, the weekend is looking pretty good for us overall. I'll break down what that looks like coming up in Atlanta's most accurate 7-day forecast.
We'll see in just a bit. Thank you, Fred. Confused and concerned voters are questioning whether they'll be able to cast their vote in November.
New at 11 tonight, the issue that could lead to some problems at the polls.
Blighted properties wiped off the map. New at 11. We're going to take you to the neighborhood in Fulton County where officials are cleaning up.
A local news team breaks news faster when you're... Now to a breaking story we are following here at 11 o'clock tonight. Flames tore through this home in DeKalb County, killing at least one person. These are some live pictures from the scene and our photographer there on that scene. And it shows you crews, or we've been looking at crews there along Standard Drive and what's left of this home. But we are pressing investigators right now on what may have started this fire, as well as the identity of the person killed. We'll be updating the story on air and online for you tonight.
Tonight, Atlanta morning, an influential rapper.
The Fulton County Medical Examiner confirmed Rich Homie Quan died today. The 34-year-old was born and raised here in Atlanta. He rose to prominence in the mid-2010s. The coroner has not released a cause of death. Rich Homie Quan had a brief feud with another Atlanta rapper, Young Thug. Prior to his death, Quan said he hated to see the indicted rapper in jail.
The RICO trial involving Young Thug continued today. Prosecutors questioned Antonio Sledge. He worked as head of security for Young Thug's YSL record label. Sledge has already pled guilty to conspiracy to violate RICO and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Atlanta News First will be in court tomorrow. For more testimony, you can watch our coverage on ANF+.
New at 11 tonight, thousands of DeKalb County voters labeled inactive 2 months ahead of Election Day. According to our partners at Decatur-ish, this is impacting more than 30,000 voters. Secretary of State's office says this is due to their mail being undeliverable. But the DeKalb County Elections Board chair says this isn't as bad as it sounds. She said, quote, "We are stressing that inactive does not mean ineligible to vote. Casting a ballot this election will automatically help rectify this issue." Also new here at 11 tonight, some eyesores west of Atlanta are wiped off the map.
Today, crews demolished 2 vacant motels off of Fulton Industrial Boulevard in the city of South Fulton. This is all part of Fulton County's Renew the District initiative. It aims to stimulate economic growth and enhance community safety west of the city. We spoke with county officials who celebrated the decision.
These legacy hotels really created a lot of criminal activity, really challenging for the district, and made it an undesirable place, both for people to work and to live. And so by knocking down these buildings, we've really set mission accomplished on that part of the effort.
Officials have not said yet what will replace the hotels. They added that whatever is built will benefit everyone who lives and works in the area.
We have a nice, clear, clean look for you over Georgia Tech and then Midtown, downtown area. Tomorrow evening, though, by this time, could be a few raindrops on the lens. There will be some showers around. We could use some rain. Here's the latest drought update. Abnormally dry for most of our area. Those that are not abnormally dry are dealing with a drought, back into a drought. Moderate drought right now, far north Georgia, parts of West Georgia as well, southwest of Atlanta down to LaGrange. So after what was an extremely dry June, we went into a very wet July and then a very dry August. And it's been dry so far in this month of September. Temperatures out there right now, low to mid 70s around the metro. Some cooler spots as you go north, though. 63 LJ, 63 right now for Helen. So up that way, the sky's a little clearer, the temperature falling off. Clouds, though, are streaming in for most of us, as you can see. Notice there's not a lot of green showing up on the map, at least in that view. When we go with the wider view, we see green, yellow, and some heavy showers and thunderstorms along the Gulf Coast here. And I think that's probably where the heavier rain is going to stay, or at least south of our area, South Georgia, parts of Middle Georgia, but it'll have a tough time making its way up into North Georgia. In fact, today we were expecting a lot of cloud cover, and we did see some blue sky from time to time help the temperature get to 84. Now, tomorrow, I think it is going to be a gray day. By midday, we'll watch for some spotty light showers to start to develop, mainly southwest of Atlanta, but then moving into the metro a little bit later on in the afternoon. So Friday night high school football games could be dealing with some wet weather, at least some patchy showers and maybe even some drizzle. Best chance of seeing something a little bit steadier. It looks like it'll be West Georgia or south of Atlanta. And then you saw a little rain coming through during the overnight, but moving out by early Saturday. So that bodes well for our weekend. Partly cloudy skies on Saturday. Pleasant with high temperatures in the low to mid 80s. Partly cloudy skies again on Sunday. So not full blue sky out there this weekend, but it'll be nice enough. Great for outdoor activities. Humidity won't be too high and temperatures won't be too hot. They'll be generally in the low to mid 80s around Atlanta. Tomorrow, though, they're in the 70s for most of our area, maybe 83 for Rome. But look south of Atlanta, Griffin, Thomaston, high temperatures of 72. You bounce back once that sun comes back on Saturday into the low to mid 80s. And on Sunday, you can see the temperature ranging from the upper 70s to about 83 in Atlanta. All right, here's the tropical map. And it looks like there's just all kinds of stuff developing here. But then you look at the percentages, and they're really low. The only one that has a better than 20% chance of developing is this disturbance north of Bermuda, 30% chance that it becomes a subtropical storm, and it's no threat to land. First alert 3-degree guarantee forecast high for tomorrow. It's the trickiest forecast we've had in a while, going with 79 degrees, hoping to get another $50 for the Ronald McDonald House Charities this month's First Alert 3-degree charity. Here's Atlanta's most accurate 7-day forecast. After we get through tomorrow, decent weekend, and then great weather next week. More mid-80s, more low humidity, more comfy nights with lows in the mid-60s.
Coming up in sports, Falcons fans worried about Kyle Pitts? Fear no more. However, there is interesting injury news where the Steelers are concerned.
First alert weather on Atlanta News.
The Braves looking for a much-needed sweep of the Rockies. Ronaldo Lopez on the mound for this one. The Braves get it going first. Ramon Laureano with a line drive to left. Brings one in as the Braves get on the board in the bottom of the first. 1-0. Head to the top of the second. Rockies even it up when Michael Talia homers to center, his 22nd of the year, and we're all tied at 1. Then in the top of the sixth, Colorado secures another homer to propel them to a 2-1 lead. Atlanta drops game 3-1. Blue Jays are in town tomorrow at Truist Park. For all those Falcons fans who were worried about tight end Kyle Pitts' hamstring, fear not. Pitts was a full participant in Thursday's practice. However, it was the Steelers' injury report raising eyebrows this afternoon. Steelers quarterback Russell Wilson was limited in practice after reporting some calf tightness. He's been dealing with that all of preseason. It's being reported that Wilson will get checked out by doctors. So will it be Russ or Justin Fields to start week 1? Well, either way, the Dirty Birds are prepared for whoever is under center.
Try to see where, Russ came from, and then you try to see what, Fields, all those guys has their strengths. Art's a really good player of putting his guys in position to be successful. So, you go back and watch some Denver film. You go back and watch some Bears film and, see how, Russ is looking at the defense, how he's reading the post safety. And then you got Fields, he's more of a dynamic runner, but is more capable of throwing it as well.
And how about this, sports fans? The Atlanta sports community came together at State Farm Arena tonight to celebrate the city of Atlanta's designation as one of the Sports Business Journal's best sports business cities.
It drives so much of the interest and energy around Atlanta and the surrounding communities. I think with the All-Star game coming up, the CFP title game coming up to this city, you just were awarded the men's Final Four in 2031. And so there is so much interest among other sports organizations about bringing their events here to this market.
Definitely fun times coming in Atlanta. And calling all soccer fans on Peachtree Sports Network on Saturday. You can watch the Soccer ID Cup from Orlando at 7 as Club America and National Athletic face off. That does it for your sports. We'll be right back.
All law firms.
It's happening tomorrow with our continuing coverage of the Apalachee High School shooting. The accused shooter will be in court tomorrow morning.
That's to begin around 8:30 tomorrow. Now, Apalachee's High's football game against Monroe Area High has been canceled. Instead, they will hold a prayer vigil instead, and that will be at Monroe's football stadium. We will be covering all of it for you here tomorrow.
And there is a lower chance of seeing rain out in Barrow County tomorrow than, say, south of I-20 or in the Atlanta metro area. So hopefully the rain will stay away. Temperatures tomorrow in the 70s. Showers are possible, mainly afternoon and evening time frame. And again, it's mainly southwest of Atlanta with a few showers drifting up into the metro. A lower chance of them making their way all the way north into the mountains. Pretty decent weekend. Temperatures will be in the 80s both Saturday and Sunday. And a great stretch of weather is ahead for next week. More mid-80s for highs, comfortable humidity. So that means low temperatures will be in the middle 60s.
Thank you, Fred, and thank you for making Atlanta News First your choice for News at 11.
Remember, we are always available.
Keep your phone close to follow the latest breaking news and those updates out of Barrow County, including weather and traffic on the Atlanta News First app.
You'll get push alerts the moment anything happens. Join our morning team starting at 4:30 tomorrow morning. We'll see you soon. Have a good night.